I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV, episode number 104. We're from the comic book store Alter Ego Comics, located in beautiful downtown Lima, Ohio. Stop laughing. It is beautiful. It's rainy today, but eh. And every week we plow through the drifts of comics. Who wrote this script? No. Every week we read a giant stack of new releases, and then we come back and let you know what we recommend, because it's kind of our job. And we love comics. We love to read comics. So Josh is going to kick things off with...
There's been a history in video game and comic adaptations where neither of them is very good. Video games based on comics are not great. Comics based on video games are generally even worse. We started to turn the tide with games like Arkham City really kind of kicking in the feel of Batman, and we're starting to see some A-list creators on video game stuff. Starting to see some A-list creators on video game stuff like Marvel's Halo books, bringing on Bendis and Peter David and a variety of other guys. So this is sort of the next step in that evolution. We have a new video game adaptation out today. This is from Injustice: Gods Among Us. A few years ago they did a Mortal Kombat versus DC game, and one of the complaints, yes, we live in a world where this is one of the complaints, was that the superheroes didn't kill people. There weren't fatalities, which is a sort of a hallmark of the Mortal Kombat franchise, but it turns out Superman and Batman don't rip off people's spines. In this game, apparently they do. This is the next step. They've created an alternate timeline where things have maybe justified use of deadly force. So we've got all DC characters going against each other and punching each other, and ripping out spines and killing each other and causing blood to squirt and all sorts of awesome things. One of the things you don't typically see in a fighting game is a cool story, but this adaptation, which came out today, actually gives me a lot of hope for that. It's written by Tom Taylor with art by Jeremy Rappak, Mark S. Miller, and Axel Jimenez. I know what you're thinking. 3 pencilers. This book must be awesome. Well, you know what? There's actually a book out this week with 4 pencilers. I'm looking at you, iVampire. Get your crap together. But back to Injustice: Gods Among Us. This was actually really good. I wasn't expecting a lot, but it sets up an alternate timeline, and it actually has pretty good touchstones to the main universe. For some reason, Lois Lane's hair is brown, which really confused me. I'm like, who's this brown-haired chick in bed with Superman? But that's fine. And it really... They hit a logical point at which I believe Superman would start killing people. So if you want to read a book where Superman snaps, this is why, and check it out if you like video games.
All right.
Also, Jeremy Rappak, just so you know, throwing extra letters in your name does not make you cool.
He's going to get hate mail. All right, we'll stay with DC, and one of my picks this week is Aquaman number 16 by Jeff Johns and Paul Pelletier. I really should learn how to pronounce his name. Next time I see him, I'll ask him. But I really love Pelletier's work. I first got wind of him when he was working for CrossGen and did some really cool stuff, and now he is doing a bunch of stuff at DC. He did stuff on the Hulk back with Marvel about a year or two ago. But anyway, this is about Aquaman. And this is the 4th part of the Throne of Atlantis. Is that right?
Maybe.
Justice League, Aquaman. Yes, 4th part of the Throne of Atlantis storyline that has been bouncing back and forth between Justice League and Aquaman. And we actually see some stuff happen this issue. It's been a really good mini crossover event, but sometimes it feels, no pun intended, feels like we're treading water with not a whole lot happening. This issue, stuff happens. And we find out someone is working behind the scenes to pull the strings of the Atlanteans as well as the members of the Justice League. And it was a cool reveal. I didn't see it coming. And we get to see Cyborg actually do stuff, which is interesting because Cyborg really hasn't done much since Justice League started. I'm glad he's on the team. He's a cool character. But he undergoes a pretty radical procedure in this issue. And also, as I said, he does stuff. So Jeff Johns has been knocking it out of the park with Aquaman. Everyone freely admits that Aquaman is one of those characters that he's tough to write. He can't usually sustain his own book for very long, and hopefully Mr. Johns will stay on board for a while so that we can see a lot more of cool Aquaman.
And my next pick this week is Batman and Robin Annual Number 1, written by Peter Tomasi with art by Artie and Syaf. This is really good. Like, I picked this, I read this, and as I got done, I knew that this was going to be my pick of the week. This is a great, well, it's not a great Batman story because Batman's not really in it. It's a Bruce Wayne story. Bruce spends maybe 3 pages in the cape and cowl. The rest of it, he's just Bruce Wayne. Essentially, the setup is Damian is trying to do something nice for Bruce. He's trying to set up sort of a scavenger hunt for Bruce to kind of so they can connect and maybe understand each other a little better. But in true Damian fashion, he also has ulterior motives and is sort of trying to pull his own kind of stunts on the side without Bruce noticing. And it's just, I can't tell you anything about it without sort of spoiling the moments, but it was the best Bruce Wayne story I've read in years. And if you're even a little bit of a Batman fan, you should absolutely pick up the Batman Robin Annual. It's great.
And I guess, as a father, I should set up scavenger hunts with my children to bond with them. Or encourage them to set them
If your children are as qualified as Batman, and you have a corporate jet.
As qualified as Damian.
Yeah.
They're not like Damian. Thank goodness. Love you, kids. My next pick is my pick of the week. It's Hawkeye number nothing, because there's no number there. It's the newest issue of Hawkeye. Hold on. I can't see the number from here. It's the new issue of Hawkeye by Matt Fraction, with art by Steve Lieber and Jesse Hamm. Now, this was kind of it's number 7. Thank you to my assistant off camera. Hawkeye number 7, this was a last-minute addition, and it deals with the Hurricane Sandy. It is Hurricane Sandy, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Superstorm.
Because all I can think of is Sandy Hook and Hurricane Sandy. It's not funny. Shut up.
It's a little funny.
Hurricane Sandy. So this has Hawkeye. The first part of the book is Hawkeye, Clint Barton, dealing with stuff going on in the New York area, and Hawkeye number 2, Kate Bishop, the female Hawkeye, dealing with the effects of the hurricane in New Jersey. And it's just really awesome. Fraction, I don't know what it is about this book, but the way that he writes Hawkeye is just incredible. I love that he is just an everyman. He's kind of like John McClane in this book, from the Die Hard series. All this stuff happens, and he's got the skills. He's been trained as an Avenger. He's an expert marksman, but he's not in the uniform. A lot of times he doesn't have his arrows with him, and he is thrown into crazy situations where he needs to be the hero, and I'm loving it. I think everyone is loving it. Everyone that's reading it is loving it. I would like to see more people reading it. But this is, as I said, it's a fill-in issue, last-minute deal, and I think Fraction and the art team really did a fantastic job putting this together very quickly, and loved it. My pick of the week.
My next pickup from Marvel is Punisher Warzone number 4, written by Greg Rucka with art by Carmine Di Giandomencio. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm sorry, Carmine.
Why can't it just be Carmine Ragusa?
Carmine Infantino. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm not, strictly speaking, a Punisher fan. I think a lot of the classic Punisher stuff is kind of dull, and I'm not a fan of shooting a bunch of people. But something about the way Greg Rucka writes him really connects with the character, and this issue especially was kind of a surprise, because based on the previous pattern of the miniseries, we saw one Avenger going out and trying to bring in the Punisher each issue. This jumps to the end of the story. Excuse me. This jumps to the end of the story. We've got the culmination of the trial of Sergeant Elves, and the Punisher's going to try and retake her in transit to presumably be put to death. They haven't actually sentenced her yet, but it's implied that she'll get the death penalty. And the Avengers have to try and stop him, and it's great. It makes you respect the Punisher, and the fact that the Punisher doesn't underestimate these people he's dealing with, gods and geniuses and SpiderMan, and it just is so good. I feel sorry for you if you're not reading Greg Rucka's Punisher.
We really cannot stress enough, as you can tell from Josh's plea there, not a plea, but his criticism of people not reading the Punisher. Greg Rucka has done an amazing job with this character. And his entire run on the main Punisher series has been collected in graphic novel form in 2 volumes. The Punisher Warzone series has 1 more issue to go. If you haven't been reading it, it may be hard to find the single issues, but definitely you want to check out the collected edition when it comes out. I'm with Josh. I'm not a diehard Punisher fan. I like the Punisher most when he's interacting with the Marvel Universe. Although in the main Punisher book that Rucka did, he doesn't have much interaction with the Marvel Universe. And you really need to check it out. It's one of those books, it's one of those runs, even though it was a brief run, 15 issues or whatever it was. I think it's legendary. It's going to be mentioned for years to come as really good stuff. All right, on to my final pick this week, or recommendation, and that would be Superior Spider-Man number 2 by Dan Slott and Ryan Stegman. Slott continues to do great stuff. You're probably tired of hearing me talk about Dan Slott and how much I love him, how great he is, how great he was on Amazing Spider-Man, and now how great things are on Superior Spider-Man. And I think one of the reasons that I'm truly enjoying this book is that it's fresh, it's new, it's different. This is a situation we have not seen Peter Parker in before. He did, but he's Patrick Swayze. He's a ghost. And to see Dr. Octopus as Spider-Man interacting with Peter's supporting cast of characters is fun. It's crazy to hear this dialogue coming out of the body of Peter Parker, and he's using crazy supervillain lingo. And in this issue, we get our first hint that someone in the supporting cast thinks that things aren't right. So it's going to be a mystery. Will this person be able to solve it and figure it out, and what happens next? I honestly, you need to check this out. I know a lot of you checked out issue number 1. Come back for issue number 2. I'm not sure where the vitriol and hatred for Dan Slott is coming from. I read the letters page in this issue in Superior Spider-Man number 2, and I swear half the letters were, "That's it, I'm done with Spider-Man, I hate you, bye." And please, people, these are stories. Yes, many of us are attached to these characters. We've grown up with the characters, but have faith in the storytellers. Have faith in the message here, and you're going to miss what I think will be a great ride if you pass on Superior Spider-Man. All right, that's it for this week. We do want to mention that we are having a garage sale next weekend here in the store, and we're maybe thinking about doing something on the website too. So stay tuned for that. But in the store, if you're in the area, it's February 8th and 9th. It's a Friday and Saturday during regular business hours, and we've got to clear out a bunch of stuff to make room for more cool stuff that's coming in this year. So there'll be a bunch of things marked down on sale that have not been on sale before. And we hope that you'll come out and go through all the stuff. So it should be fun, and you should save some money and get some cool stuff. So it's February 8th and 9th. You can get more information on our Facebook page. And that is it. Thank you for the comment. We got a lot of comments from last week's episode, so thank you for those, and please keep the comments coming, and we'll keep trying to give you the best recommendations that we can each and every week. See ya.